Hi, Jeff Gawns back again with the Dwarven Tavern review of the 5th edition Player's Handbook from Wizards of the Coast. Where we left off last time was the Paladin. Okay, this is one of the favorites of the Dwarven Tavern because it was suggested as a dare because that person had never played a Paladin and they're like, lawful good is boring. Turned out to be one of the coolest characters ever. Just straight up cool character. In this edition, the Paladins have Divine Sense, Lay on Hands, as we talked about earlier. They get proficiency bonus, class features, and of course they get Paladin spells, or Paladinic spells. They get Fighting Style, Divine Smite, Divine Health, Sacred Oath. And that Sacred Oath is where they take their devotion to one of their different paths that they can take. They can do the Oath of Devotion, the Oath of the Ancients, the Oath of Vengeance, and each one of these gives the Paladin a special ability that, or abilities that they get as they progress at levels that allow them to do special things. Very simple, very straightforward, and I really enjoy that about this edition. Can't stress that enough. The simplicity is cool. And it allows for a lot of imagination. When you over-delineate things, as in an edition that we shall not talk about, it tends to limit the amount of imagination that the players can use. Whereas if you just give them something simple, and this might not seem simple, but it really is, it gives them something that they can do. It gives them special things to look forward to. It gives them a goal. It gives them a challenge. Living with purpose gives a long life, and that's even to the characters. So when you have purpose in your characters, like, I can't wait till I become an avenging angel. And at 20th level, you can assume the form of an angelic avenger. Using your action, you undergo a transformation. For 1 hour, you gain the following benefits. Wings sprout from your back, and grant you a flying speed of 60 feet. You emanate an aura of menace, and in a 30-foot radius, the first time any enemy creatures enters the aura or starts its turn there during a battle, the creature must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you for a minute or until it takes any damage. It's like, oh, I'm so scared. Hey, that hurt. Creep. And then attack rolls against the frightened creatures have the advantage, which is one of the things, I'm going to point this out, there's a thing called advantage and disadvantage in this edition, where you roll 2 20-sided dice upon an attack roll or an action. So you roll the 2 dice, not that it would do me any good on this roll, and if you have the advantage, you take the better of the 2, which in this case is a 4. If you have the disadvantage, you have the worse of the 2, which in this case is a 2. So that was not good. I would have been no help for me. So that's in this case you have an advantage against a frightened creature. So you can roll the 2 dice, the 2 20s, and take the better of the 2. Which is incredibly cool. It's such a neat idea. Then you have the Rangers, the Rangers get the typical Ranger stuff, the favored enemy, the natural explorer, the fighting style of the Ranger, and the Ranger archetype. And in this particular instance, the Ranger gets the Hunter, the Beastmaster archetypes, and they get different abilities, different good things. Like for the Hunter, they get the Hunter's Prey, which can be the Colossus Slayer, the Giant Killer, or the Horde Breaker. So, what would you say? Aragorn was a Horde Breaker, right? Because, he killed all those orcs, which was quite a horde. And then, at the end, the big troll stepped on his head. Or his chest. It's his chest. So, then you also get defensive tactics and multi-attack with the Hunter Ranger, With the Beastmaster Rangers, you get the Ranger Companion, which is probably a kitty cat, like this tall, teeth. At third level, you gain a Beast Companion. So the Beastmaster gets the Animal Companion, which at third level, you pick something like an otter, or, you know what, a pangolin. Pangolins are cool, and even a lions have trouble killing them. If you've never seen a pangolin, you should look it up. They're cool. And you get Bestial Fury, which means... And you get Bestial Fury, which starting at 11th level, your Beast Companion can make 2 attacks when you command it to use the attack action. So it's like, Rover, bite him twice, and Rover will be like, okay. So there you have that. Then we move on to the Rogue, which the Rogue photo is menacing and pretty cool, actually. I like it. I like the artwork in this book a lot. The Rogue gets sneak attack extra damage. So when you can make a sneak attack with a Rogue, at first level he gets an extra d6 of damage. When you get up to 20th level, he gets an extra 10 d6 of damage, which means at first level he's like, I can poke you in the back where it really hurts. And at 20th level, he's like, here's your spleen. It's mine now. So his features are expertise, cunning action, uncanny dodge. The expertise is the ability to choose 2 of your skill proficiencies or 1 of your skill levels with your thieves' tools. Your proficiency bonus is doubled with that expertise because you're an expert, which is, And then you've got the roguish archetypes. And the roguish archetype you get at 9th level. Nope, sorry. You get it at 3rd level. The archetype at 3rd level for all the classes. And this includes thief and assassin, right? And the third one, which is heretofore just like a prestige class would have been in the old books, is the arcane trickster, which is a spellcasting type rogue who is like hee poof and you're gone. And those I I hate those guys. I hate them so much I don't even play them as Dungeon Masters NPCs. Only very rarely. So that's the thief. Then we go on to the sorcerer, who uses raw magic, not fried. You live longer if you don't eat fried magic. Sorcerers have their different abilities. They get their spell slots, of course, and their features like spellcasting, sorcerer's origin, a font of magic, and that's like Times New Roman. No, that's not what it is at all. The font of magic, they can tap into a deep wellspring of magic within themselves, and this wellspring is represented by sorcery points, which allows you to create a variety of magical effects. Okay, and then of course it has a list of your sorcery points go up as you go. Flexible casting. You can use your sorcery points to gain additional spell slots or sacrifice spell slots to gain additional sorcery points, and so forth. So it's very simple, but still it gives a lot of flexibility. And you can go with sorcerer's origins like the draconic background, bloodline, and the wild magic, which makes you a walking deck of many things. If you can remember back to the deck of many things in the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide, magic stuff, the deck of many things was, or the deck of many things, or the Wand of Wonder. The Wand of Wonder. This is what you are. Okay. The Wand of Wonder is a mean dungeon master. Will put that in often, and your characters will be like, "Hi, summon a rhino," or "Bubbles, butterflies." I just turned my companion into frogs, not just one frog. Then we have the warlock who has to make a pact with a specific divine being. Okay, this is what a lot of people are afraid of, like the Mad Mother syndrome from way back when. This is kind of what they're talking about, because it allows your character to make a pact with a number of divine beings from upper, lower, or far realms areas. So this is kind of a more adult thing, or I raised my kids, all of our children, with Dungeons and Dragons and explained everything to them. And if you take the time, they'll be well adjusted and they'll be fine. But if you don't, if you're a gamer and you're watching this, then you're fine with your kids. Just explain what this is to them, and they'll be fine. Otherwise, be careful. And if somebody criticizes you for your warlock worshiping Cthulhu, just eat their brains. You can have your patron, which are, as well as the Eldritch Invocation and the purple Eldritch Blasts from 3.5, your patron, which you can make an Archfey, which is freaking dangerous. I would rather deal with Cthulhu than to have a deal with, like, Mab, okay, or Puck. Could you imagine Puck as your Archfey? What he would do? You know who Puck is. Don't tell me you don't. So you can do a pact with an Archfey that gives you different abilities. You can do a pact with a Fiend, which is your stereotypical demon or devil. Then the Great Old One, which is the Cthulhu type, Nyarlathotep, Shub-Niggurath, the King in Yellow, etc. And then you've got all these Eldritch Invocation, which is just... Then this brings us to the Wizard. And the Wizard, and the Warlock wants me to keep talking about it. The Wizard has, is the book smart dude. He's the one that talks like that and shakes except when he's casting a spell, unless it's a spell of shaking. And which is unfortunate, because obviously all that magic's coursing through their veins gives them some kind of nerve damage.
It's Parkinson's.
Parkinson's, yeah. So you have different schools, which, third or second, I think second edition brought out the schools in their greatest glory, but this also brings out the all the schools that they can get, and that's kind of the same thing as the Path of the Barbarian, the College of the Bard, which is the Dwarven Tavern College. But I'll bring that up at a later date. And this has the School of Invocation, Enchantment, etc. It's kind of pretty familiar. They didn't change that much, but they gave each school person, they gave each student a different ability. Like in the School of Transmutation, at second level, when you select the school, you get Minor Alchemy, which you can take a non-magical thing and change it from one thing to another, just as an ability. So it's pretty cool. And that is the character classes when designing a character. So in our next video, we will be talking about Chapter 4, which is personality and background, and see where we go from there. So this has been a Dwarven Tavern review of 5th edition Player's Handbook and Chapter 3, which is character creation. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, and look us up on Facebook and www.dwarventavern.net. Don't forget, these are the guys that make the product, so give them a visit. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a bit. Let